Hey guys, this is Clouds, and today I've got a round of Rush on Sinai Desert, or Sinai, I don't know how to say its name. Wow, that was embarrassing. This round, I do not get off to a good start, as you can see. I was calling in artillery, and I was looking away from the telegraph post, because normally that's what you want to do, because enemies will be shooting at you from away from that. But there was a guy hiding in the corner very sneakily, and he shot me in the back. So this round, this first base, I don't have a lot to say because nothing really happens. I'm playing as Scout, and I should really switch kits because you need to be Assault, basically, on this map. This entire map, you should just play Assault, because there's so many tanks. But yeah, you know, it's Thanksgiving, or I might upload this after Thanksgiving, but as I'm recording, it is the giving of thanks. It's the festival to give your thanks, and Thanksgiving is a decent holiday, but I'm really not a fan of the food. You know, you got yams, turkey, what else? Mushroom soup, all kinds of weird greens put in a casserole. I'm not a fan. You know, I gotta say, one of my coworkers, I'm gonna give him credit for this joke, because I'm not a joke stealer. I gotta say, if you steal jokes, you're not a good person. But he humorously said, perhaps the food for Thanksgiving is so bad because when the Native Americans encountered the English, they're like, oh jeez, all these, why are these guys here? We gotta get them to go away. And it's like, they have guns, they can outgun us, so I don't know. Hey, let's give them this turkey, and it's so bad they'll go away. But, you know, you gotta figure the English, they were on ships, so they had spent, I don't know how long it took them to go from England to America, but you gotta figure for some amount of time they were eating like sawdust and drinking urine, and that was their diet, sawdust and urine. So even though a turkey is bad, I mean, compared to pee, it's decent, I suppose. And so now we have to eat turkey. We don't have to. I'm not. I think it tastes bad. There's a few Thanksgiving related food items that are good though. I like rolls. I like pumpkin pie. And I like tiger butter. Now tiger butter, I've spoken about this with other individuals before and they haven't heard of this, and it's like, whoa, what's that? What you do is you take vanilla flavored almond bark, and that's important. Some people use peanut butter. No, that's not. You gotta use the almond bark. You take that and some chocolate chips, you melted it in a microwave, you stir it up, and what you do is you take a knife and you wiggle it around to create like what looks like tiger stripes. And then you're gonna be left with that, and it sort of looks like a white tiger. You let it cool, solidify, you cut it up, you eat it, it's good stuff, it's quite good. Okay, so we lost that first base. Well, we haven't even lost it yet. But at this point, I was like, yeah, we lost that base, so I am not even gonna push forward. And you'll see I have switched to the tank. Now, I did say you should play Assault because that's sort of the best anti-tank class. In my opinion, the best anti-tank is another tank. So, wow, that was a cute, I gotta say, that little bit of a snipe on Surgical, that was cute, because I lined it up. That was pretty cute. Oh, look at my tank. You look on the side of it. Look there. I have an emblem. It is the sigil of the Starks, the Stark Wolf. I didn't create that myself. It is from a website called, I think, either Emblem BF or Emblems. Wow, I can't say that. emblemsbf.com, I think. Some really great artists on that website, I gotta say. I normally use an anime girl emblem just because I think it looks cute. But for World War I, having an anime girl on my tank, it doesn't feel right. So I switched to this badass wolf, and I gotta say, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So you'll see here, this second base, it's much more open compared to the first base, and that makes it quite difficult for the attackers to move up unless they're in a vehicle, because they don't really have cover. Their only real choices, well, for the infantry players, is either to go along the railway and kind of go as far as you can along the edge of the map and then kind of get behind that big rock, or you can do what these guys are doing, go along this cliffside, and there's, you know, all the rocks, there's a decent amount of cover so they can get, you know, up to the objectives. So I would say infantry, the best plan for them is to go along one of those flank routes. And then, oh, look at this. Oh wait, he didn't get on the tank. I remember this. My squad mate at some point gets on top of my tank. Look at this. He's like using this cover, and then he can like crouch and head clip with it. I move around so it ruins his little head clip, but I gotta say, that's thinking on your feet, and that is a good tactic. So remember that, in case if you have a stationary tank, you can use that as cover. You can climb up on it, and it's a good strategy. You'll see with a tank, I'm not playing super aggressive, and that's because if I were to move up past this area, there's really no cover for a tank. And I'm gonna start getting shot by people who are in the attacking spawn. And as soon as you start to get hit, you're screwed basically. So for defending, I really favor the tactic, usually, of staying back, and especially on an open base like this one. Spotted a tank. I don't remember how many tanks I kill in my little tank run, but if I remember correctly, there's an absolute boatload of tanks that besiege this base. I don't know how many tanks the attackers get on this base, but it's gotta be at least 3, and it might be 4. I don't know, because see, I remember we played attacking after this round, and I don't remember getting all these tanks. So I don't know, I don't want to cry cheating or glitching, or I don't know how they did it, but somehow they get an insane amount of tanks. So you'll see right here, okay, now where'd this guy come from? I just killed 2 tanks, there's already a 3rd pushing up. Where's this guy coming from? The sniper correctly bails out. He's like, dude, we're screwed. You started this engagement by shooting the ground, we're gonna lose. Although I am quite hurt, so you'll see I back up, get into this little divot of the land. Sort of like a natural trench, I guess you could say. And I repair myself. Now I do know you can repair the tank faster by hopping out, but I don't want someone to steal my tank, so most of the time I'm not getting out the tank. Okay, so now that I am fully repaired, pushing up, I see this guy and I'm like, okay, there's another tank, really? How? And look at this! There's another tank on my right. What the? I'm trying not to curse. I really want to. But I was very befuddled. Like, what? And at this point, I'm like, you know what? In my opinion, I outplayed you guys, so I'm not giving you the kill. I'm bailing out. Because in my opinion, that was total shenanigans. I don't know how that occurred, but I call shenanigans, okay? So I am running away. You're not gonna kill me. Not yet. End up getting sniped at or whatever, so I'm like, oh, here comes the tank. But I won't give up yet. I will. You may have killed my tank, so you think you got me, but guess what, buddy? I'm moving in with the grenades. And even though you killed me, I killed you. So, yeah. What's up? Alright, so we killed that tank. I'm not sure if the land... Yeah, the land ship. Because I saw a land ship and a heavy tank. I know the heavy tank is dead, but I don't know where the land ship is. You'll see the cliffside overlooking Bravo. It's good as a flank route, but it also provides a way for the attackers to defend a charge. Sort of. You'll see there's a bit of cover on that telegraph post, so my buddy Gear was able to disarm it. So, I mean, it's a decent area to overlook the telegraph post. Look at this. As we defend Bravo, Alpha's armed, so running around. I see it gets disarmed, so I don't instantly run over there. I want to kind of get my bearings, you know, okay, what's going on here? So I gotta check this out. Looks relatively clear, I'd say. Shooting at this guy. I didn't really expect to kill that guy. This gun I have, the MP18 Experimental, it's a burst fire weapon, so it gives the assault players a little bit of mid-range viability, but that long range, it's still not very good. Okay, here's the land ship. I don't know if this is a new land ship or it was the other one and it went to hide, but I see that it's on fire. I'm like, okay, not the perfect aim. Shooting at this guy. I got 2 bullets and I kill him. Nice, very satisfying. See a squad mate going to disarm. I don't need to help him, and I go for the land ship. Now, kill this guy too. I don't want to complain, and I've brought this up before, but look at this. I use 3 sticks of dynamite, and what do I get for it? I disabled the sponson, and I didn't know what this was. I actually Google searched it. The sponson is sort of an outward attachment on a ship where a gun can be placed. It's normally only used as a nautical term for like actual ships, but I mean land ship, it's still kind of a ship. Make a mistake here. Although we distracted the tank long enough so Blazing Saddle could get the dynamite kill. Okay, so wow, a lot of stuff to cover. We killed that tank. I just want to say, 3 sticks, and all I get was some damage and a disabled sponson. You'll remember in Battlefield 4 and in Battlefield 3, 2 packets of C4 would kill a tank. I think you needed 3 if it had reactive armor. But, I mean, I don't want to complain, but I feel like anti-tank equipment in Battlefield 1 could use a bit of a buff, because I mean the dynamite, it doesn't even stick to a tank like the C4 did, so it's more difficult to use, and even if you use all 3 sticks, you're not likely to kill a tank unless it's already really hurt. Alright, so I got gutted by knife. That's unfortunate. Move in. 2 heavy tanks. These tanks, I don't know how they are producing them so quickly. It's like they're reproducing faster than rabbits, which apparently those reproduce quickly because that's like the running gag with rabbits. I don't know how they're doing this, but they are just constantly... I was a little frustrated because I was like, where are all these damn tanks coming from? What do I switch to? I switched to mines. I gotta call myself out here. I preemptively switched to mines because I had already given up on this base, and that was a mistake. What I should have done was switch to anti-tank grenades, because we got Alpha saved. So I'm moving up here. Tank is engaging us. There's another tank. I don't know how many tanks are up. I'm so confused. Trying to get the edge on this guy. Do 1 shot. Look at this technique here. Throw, then shoot. Kersplushki. I get the double grenade kill. Quite nice. Okay, is there another tank up? Yeah. Yeah, there is. That's great. although it's close to death, I think. So we're moving up. You'll see the attackers have 0 tickets, 0 seconds left, but as long as the objective is armed, you can still, the game continues. And they take this base with 0 tickets in 0 seconds. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Well done, team. Well done, enemy team. Alright, so what happens here, I'm gonna cut the next 2 bases. And that's because on this current base, nothing really happens. I get a few kills. The only thing to note is because I preemptively, I think I was the one who did it, I destroyed the natural arch. And you can still get up on this cliffside overlooking the objectives. There's only 2 ways, and not everyone knows it. So we kept the enemy off the cliff. They still take the objectives though, because I had a shitload of tanks. Wow, that was frustrating. Okay, so we lose this base, and right here, we were already sort of like, a little demoralized, a little like, oh man. And I was like, you know what? Let's stay in the enemy spawn. And I was talking to my buddy Gary. I was like, do you know how long you can stay in the enemy spawn? And neither of us knew. And what happens is this entire base, I just stay in the enemy spawn and do nothing. So, but there's a reason for that. This is for scientifical research purposes, and I was able to find out that you can stay in the enemy spawn indefinitely. Now, if you leave and try to come back, it'll be out of bounds. But if you stay here, you can stay here the entire base. Now, what happens is, I'm going to give you a little graphical blueprint to help you guys understand this. You can stay in the enemy spawn, but when they take the current set of objectives and the attacking spawn moves up 1 sector, the previous sector that you're in becomes like super out of bounds. And at that point, you gotta leave, or you get the 10-second countdown, like, hey, you're about to die. So even though I did absolutely nothing to help my team on this base, I like to think that I helped the entire Battlefield community by learning this. I did some research, so even though I didn't play the objective, it was for a reason. You'll see here, I die after we lose that base. Okay, so now we are on the final base, switching to mines, and I stick with the dynamite. And you'll also see this, switching guns. Now this is a very important, I don't know if you would call it a tactic, but it's just something that you should be aware of in Battlefield. Well, did you see the clouds just then? Rewind if you didn't. The clouds, the skyscape, just like, I don't know, it freaked out for a second. Anyway, the idea of switching guns or classes is something that's very important in Battlefield, but I would say it's most important in Rush. Putting down some mines. That's a decent spot to put mines. You'll see, you guys won't hear this because I lower the sound and I have music playing, but in game I heard a tank flanking us, and I was just like, I'm gonna leave him to it because I trust my mine placement. That was very nifty mine placement. So I'm like, I got this. I don't have to engage him with my dynamite. But yeah, switching guns and classes. As you move through the bases, the engagement distances will change. The assets that the defenders and attackers have will change. So, you need to consider that. And on this base, it is very close quarters. As opposed, this entire map is very open, but on this last base, it's very close quarters. So that burst fire SMG, it's not really going to do so well. So I use look at that mine placement. Was I right or was I right? That was that was pretty good. The Automatico, or Automatico, is very good. It shoots very fast. Look at this. This guy has no idea what's happening because I'm shooting so fast. He's like, whoa! It's a very good, and I also have the shotgun pistol. I don't remember what it's called, but I gotta say, I really like the shotgun pistol for the assault class. because when you're engaging people in close range with a close range gun, some people are like, I want to use a secondary that has a little bit more range. I just prefer to go 100% close range. Alright, so the enemy took Bravo. That's really unfortunate because I feel like that is the more difficult objective for the attackers to take because it's so open. It is closer to their spawn, but because it's so open, if you have enough defenders defending it, it's almost impossible for them to arm that. But with the help of their heavy tank, they were able to easily get that. Thankfully though, the heavy tank is dead. Alright, so I make a mistake here. I'm waiting for my health to regen. And health regen is slower in Battlefield 1, if you haven't noticed. So I engage this guy with not full health, and he 2-hit kills me. That was a mistake on my part. Alright, so what's going on here? We got Alpha's armed. Looks like there's a decent amount of teammates on it though, so I don't really have to worry about that. Yeah, it's disarmed as soon as I spawn in. Still got some enemy players though in this building on the objective. Wow, like I said, this auto, I have trouble saying this, the automatico, there we go. You'll see this guy, I'm trying to find my dynamite. That is a bit cheeky to kill someone. I could have easily used my gun, but I don't know, I like being cheeky. And the dynamite, I feel, that is almost 100% guaranteed I get the kill. If I engage him with my gun, who knows, maybe, I didn't see what class he was. He could have had like the Model 10A Hunter, and it would have just one-banged me as soon as I poked my head in. So, I like to use the dynamite for that reason. You'll see here I'm checking out this area. This is a very important tactic to do. I gotta call myself out. That is bad mine placement. Although at this point I wasn't really concerned. Putting it out in the open, that's not good. You wanna... Here's a little tip for mine placement. Put it in the shadows and put it... If there's a hilly area, put it either on the top of the hill or the bottom of the hill. So it is unlikely tanks will see it. But yeah, like I was saying, going over here, going to where you have lost an objective and rush the telegraph post, it's good to do because a lot of times defenders will just ignore that area and it sort of becomes like a flanking option for the attackers. So, and you'll see that's what was happening then. A couple attackers are moving through that area to flank towards Alpha. So even though you lose an objective, you still want to keep eyes on that general area. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Heading back this way. Struggling. This entire round was a struggle. I can't climb these rocks. These ones I can though. Nicely done. Okay, and look, I think these are the guys who were flanking along where Bravo or Alpha was, where the previous objective was that we lost. And after we kill these guys, I'm not 100% certain that we killed all of them. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna check this building because there might be another person in here. And the reason I was thinking that is because pushing up past an objective as an attacker is a very strong tactic, and I'm like, okay, these guys, they kind of know what they're doing, you know, these guys aren't scrubs. And I'm thinking, okay, if I was in that situation, I would have hanged back to be a mobile spawn point for my teammates. So I figured, well, maybe one of them is doing the same thing, so I gotta clear out that building. So I gotta say, these guys are pretty good. Pretty good. Not as good as they are with, you know, tanks, but still pretty good. Sandstorm is pushing in. I don't think that really has much of an effect on this base, because it's already not really conducive for sniping because it's so close quarters. But I guess you could kind of say this sort of like is the last nail in the coffin for snipers. It's like, okay, you're in a close quarters area and it's very fuzzy And in a moment, objects in the distance are going to become, you'll see right there, it becomes a little fuzzy, kind of like you got Vaseline wiped on your screen. I have no idea what this guy was doing. I have my back to you and you failed to knife me. What are you doing? Although this is looking scary, kind of like the last couple objectives. They're very low on tickets. They're trying to arm, but they're making one mistake. They are trying to arm while the enemy tank is up. And if our tank is up, you can't arm that objective, dude. You have to take care of the tank. They don't kill it. It's close. 22 health. They almost got it. But they still lose. That was a very hard-fought round, and I gotta say, to both sides, well done. The main takeaways for this round, I would say, are how the hell you guys saw on that second base. How many tanks did the attackers get? That's so many tanks. So I gotta say, on this map, you want to play assault or a tank. Another thing to take note of, like I said, you know, as the bases or sectors, as they're called, move up, you got to consider, okay, what kind of environment are we fighting in? Should I switch classes? Should I switch guns? You know, it's something to remember. Alright, so pretty good round. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I am off to stuff my face with tiger butter. Bye.